Hi viewers, so welcome back to the channel. So in this video we are going to discuss the exercise 2 of polynomials. Right, so in the previous video we have discussed about the zeros of the polynomials. Right, so in this video we are going to discuss about the geometrical representation of a polynomial. So geometrical representation or graphical representation of a polynomial, right? So in this, so first of all we are going to discuss about a linear polynomial. So how to represent a linear polynomial geometrically or graphically. So first of all, so we are going to discuss so what is a linear polynomial. So already you know so what a linear polynomial is. So a linear polynomial is nothing but of the form ax plus b, where this a is not equal to 0. So this is nothing but the general form of a linear polynomial. So in this the variable is x and the power of x is nothing but 1, right? So if you want to represent this particular linear polynomial graphically, so for that so we need to recall the concept of linear equation in two variables, so which you have learned in your 9th classes, right? So there any line equation, so any straight line equation is generally represented by ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. So here what is the condition? So mod a plus mod b is not equal to 0. So this condition we need to follow to represent this particular equation as a straight line, right? So in that particular concern, so you have learned that so y is equal to mx plus c is nothing but a straight line equation, right? Now linear equation means, so if you observe the first four letters, it indirectly says that the linear polynomial graph is always a straight line. So from that we have got y is equal to mx plus c. So instead of m if I take a and instead of c if I take b, then I have my linear equation, right? So ax plus b, so here ax plus b is nothing but my linear polynomial. So y is equal to ax plus b is nothing but the general representation of a linear polynomial. Okay, now this particular linear polynomial I need to represent graphically. So if I want to draw it graphically, so here why I compared this particular thing with y. So since we need x and y, because we are going to plot any graph in the xy plane, that is nothing but Cartesian coordinate plane, which we call it as xy plane, where we have x-axis as well as y-axis. Now to represent this particular thing graphically, so if I want to represent this thing graphically, so what I require? So I require some points, right? So if I get the points, then I can plot the graph directly. So for that what I am going to do is, so I am going to consider one example. So I am going to take one example, y is equal to x plus 3. So this is nothing but my linear polynomial, so which I have considered equal to some y. Now how to get the points? So when I get the points I am going to tabulate it, right? So in a table I am going to represent those points. So I am going to take the values of x, so directly I am going to get the values of y. Now if I substitute x is equal to 0, then I am going to get the value of y as 3. The same way if I substitute x is equal to 1, I am going to get the value of y as 4, right? Next, the same way if I substitute minus 1, I am going to get the value as 2. So when I substitute 2, then I am going to get the value of y as 5. The same way when I substitute minus 2, I am going to get the value of y as 1. The same way if I continue, so if I substitute 3, then I am going to get, so if I substitute 3, then I am going to get the value as 6. When I substitute minus 3, I am going to get the value of y as 0. Now if you want to represent a straight line uniquely, then you require only 2 points. Only 2 points are enough to represent a straight line. So here I have taken some more points, right, so that we are going to get the graph so properly, right. So let us draw the graph. So this is nothing but my x-axis and this is my y-axis. So this is x-axis and this is y-axis, and both are perpendicular to each other, right. So this is nothing but my origin. To the right of it I am going to have the positive values. To the left of it I am going to have the negative values. So these all are nothing but the negative values. So we call this as negative x-axis and this particular positive values as positive x-axis. The same way, above the origin we are going to have the positive values of y-axis. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Likewise we will have. So below the origin we are going to have the negative y-axis. Now we are going to plot these points. So first point 0, 3. So how to plot the point? So 0, 3 means, so this 0, so x coordinate says whether to move right or left, whereas the y coordinate says whether to go to the upper side or the lower side. That means whether to move on to positive y-axis or negative y-axis, right. So these things you need to remember. So x coordinate says to move right or left. So if you are having a positive value, so move right. If you are having a negative value, move left. Next, if you are so for y coordinate says whether to move to the upper side or the lower side from the origin, right. Now let us see this point 0, 3. So 0 means no need to move from anywhere, so stay at origin, and from origin, so 3, so y coordinate is 3, so move 3 steps up. So move 3 steps up. So if you want to represent those points, so x coordinate says so stay at 0 and y coordinate says so move 3 steps up. So this is nothing but 0, 3. Next 1, 4. So how to represent 1, 4? So first of all, move 1 step to right and then 4 steps to the upper side, because both are positive values, no. So move 1 step to right and go to 4. So this is nothing but my 0, 1, 4. The same way minus 1, 2. So if you want to represent this point, so move 1 step to the left and from there 2 steps to up. So that means my point will be here. So this is nothing but minus 1, 2. The same way 2, 5. That means 2 steps to the right. So 2 steps to the right and 5. So that means somewhere here my point will be, right. Next minus 2, 1. So minus 2, 1 means so my point will be somewhere here. Next 3, 6. So 3, 6 means so somewhere here it will be. Next minus 3, 0 means so you will get here, right. Now if I join all these points, so if I join all these points, then I am going to get a straight line. So if I join all these points, so then I am going to get a straight line. So if you draw it on graph, then you will get this particular thing clearly. So since here I am illustrating, so I am not getting the proper graph. So but when you draw it on graph paper, so you are going to get it in a clear way, right. Okay, so this is nothing but the graphical representation of this particular linear polynomial. So from this clearly what you can observe, so linear polynomial is nothing but a straight line. Now if you observe one thing, so clearly, so where it is meeting x-axis, so it is meeting x-axis at -3, right. It is meeting x-axis at -3. That means so at -3 what is happening here? So when I substitute x value as -3, what is happening? I am getting y is equal to 0. That means this total polynomial is getting vanished. That means this particular polynomial is becoming 0. That means here whatever the value that you are substituting the place of x, that we call it as 0 of this particular polynomial, right? So for this polynomial, so if I observe this polynomial y is equal to ax plus b, then x is equal to minus b by a is nothing but it's 0. So this is nothing but we call it as 0 of this polynomial. So 0 of this particular polynomial, right? So likewise here x is equal to minus 3 is my 0 of the polynomial. So graphically, if you want to say about 0 of the polynomial, then what we can say is, so my line where it intersects x-axis gives me the 0 of that particular polynomial. Okay, so this is nothing but the graphical approach to find out the 0 of the polynomial. Now let us move on to quadratic polynomial. So if I consider a quadratic polynomial, so the second case is about a quadratic polynomial. So we are going to discuss about a quadratic polynomial. So quadratic polynomial. So what is the general form of a quadratic polynomial? So general form of a quadratic polynomial is nothing but given by ax square plus bx plus c, where a is not equal to 0. So a is not equal to 0 means there are two possibilities, either a is greater than 0 or a is less than 0. So there are two possibilities, because in numbers, so since a is nothing but coefficient, right? So this a we call it as leading coefficient also. So this a is we call it as leading coefficient. So this leading coefficient is just a number, right? So that number can be positive or negative or 0. So here 0 is restricted, so 0 we should not consider. Hence we are having only two possibilities, either a greater than 0 or a is less than 0. So based on this we are going to get the graph of this particular quadratic polynomial. Now to represent this, so what we are going to do is, so we are going to consider the given quadratic polynomial as y. So y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. So y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. The same way, if you want to represent this particular graph, so what we are going to do is, so we are going to consider the values of x, and so when you consider the values of x one after the other and substituting in this, we are going to get the values of corresponding y values, right? So likewise we are going to find out the points to draw the graph. So you will be getting these points, right? So after getting these points, so when I go on drawing the graph, so when I move on to draw the graph, so this is my x-axis and this is my y-axis. So when I plot all these points, so whatever the points that we obtain here, so if I plot those points and if I draw the graph, so I am going to get a graph like this. So I will be getting a graph like this. So this graph is nothing but represents ax square plus bx plus c. Ax square plus bx plus c. So my graph looks like this. So this particular shape we call it as parabola. We call this particular shape as parabola, right? So this is nothing but the graphical representation of a quadratic polynomial. So a quadratic polynomial always will be in the shape of a parabola. So parabola is nothing but in the shape of some u, right? Now, so always will you get the same graph, right? So always will you get the same graph? So we can't say. So there are certain conditions which we need to follow. So based on that we can say the shape of the graph. Now let us see those cases. Now for suppose if my polynomial is this, so ax square plus bx plus c is nothing but my quadratic polynomial, so which is equal to some y. Now in this particular situation, if a is greater than 0, a is greater than 0, so I am taking one particular case where the leading coefficient is positive. So if my leading coefficient is positive, then I have three possibilities for the graph. So I have totally three possibilities for the graph. I have three possibilities, so that's why I am drawing x-axis and y-axis so that I can draw the graph. Okay, now let us see the graphs. So here a is greater than 0, right? So when a is greater than 0, so there are three possibilities for these graphs. So the graph may be looking like this. So first case is, so the graph may look like this. That means it intersects x-axis at two distinct points. So there is one more possibility where my graph just comes and touches and go. So just comes and touches and go. And there is a third possibility where it never touches. So these are nothing but the three possibilities when a is greater than 0. So these particular parabolas are nothing but called as, so these are parabolas open upwards. So we call these parabolas as parabola open upwards. So these parabolas are all open upwards. So when a is greater than 0, our parabolas will be open upwards. Now in this particular situation, so we are having two real zeros because my parabola is intersecting x-axis at two distinct points. So when I am having two distinct points, two distinct intersection points, then I can say that this particular situation we have two real zeros. I can say two real zeros. When it is only intersecting only at one point, I can say that it is having one real zero. Next here, so since it is not intersecting x-axis, so what I can say is there are no real zeros. Now this particular situation we call it as the parabola is intersecting. So parabola is intersecting x-axis. We call this situation as parabola intersecting x-axis. This particular situation we call it as, so parabola touching x-axis. So this particular situation we call parabola touches x-axis, and this particular situation we call it as neither intersects nor touches. Okay, so when it intersects x-axis, so we are going to get two real zeros, and here when it touches we are going to get one real zero. If it does not touch, neither intersect, then we say it has no real zeros, right? So no real zeros. So this is one particular situation where if a is greater than 0, parabola opens upwards. Next we are going to discuss one more situation. So y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, where here the condition is a less than 0. If a is negative, then how my parabola looks? So let us see that. So this is x-axis and y-axis. So here one more x-axis and y-axis, and one more x-axis and y-axis, right? Now in these situations when a is less than 0, so when a is less than 0, so my parabola will become inverted. So my parabola gets inverted, and again for this also we are going to have three situations. So first situation is intersecting x-axis at two distinct points. Second situation is just touching the x-axis. Third situation is neither touching nor intersecting the x-axis. So here I am not going to write anything. So here a is less than 0. So what we can say, here also we get two zeros, which are real, that means 2 real zeros, here 1 real zero, and here no real zeros. Like how we have there, the same things here also we can explain, right? So this is nothing but about the zeros of the polynomial, which is nothing but quadratic polynomial, by using graphical approach, right? Now in the exercise, so we are going to see how to draw these graphs by using some examples. Okay, here generally we have discussed how the graph looks and all the things we have discussed here. In the exercise problem, so we are going to draw the graph originally and we are going to show you, right? Next we are going to discuss about cubic polynomial, right? So before going to cubic polynomial, so if you observe these graphs, so these graphs are symmetrical about y-axis, right? So you can see symmetrical about y-axis. So sometimes, so depending on the situation, so we are going to have these graphs, right? So just remember these. Next, discussing about cubic polynomial. So how the general form of cubic polynomial, right? So it is nothing but ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, where a is not equal to 0. So this is nothing but the cubic polynomial which we have, right? So this is nothing but general form of a cubic polynomial. In this cubic polynomial, since the degree is 3, so we have maximum how many zeros? So we'll have maximum 3 zeros. So 3 zeros means, so already we have discussed that 0 means nothing but my graph should intersect x-axis at intersect x-axis. So here 3 means, so it intersects x-axis maximum at 3 points. Okay, right? So let us discuss with one example. So let us take one example. So for suppose if I consider y is equal to x cube, so I need to draw the graph of this particular polynomial. So this is nothing but a cubic polynomial, no? So because polynomial depends on degree, not on the number of terms. Now y is equal to x cube. Now let us see this. Now y is equal to x cube, so how to draw the graph? So it is very simple, right? Considering the points, so it is very simple. So when I take x values, I am going to get the values of y. So I am going to get minus 3, next minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, some 3. Now minus 3 whole cube is nothing but minus 27, minus 2 whole cube is nothing but minus 8, minus 1, 0, 1, 8, 27. So these are the things that you know already, right? Now if I want to draw the graph for this particular situation, so how to draw the graph? So this is my x-axis and this is my y-axis. So the lines are not coming straight, right? So this is my y-axis. Now this is nothing but my origin, right? Now if I want to draw the graph of this particular thing, so this is nothing but my origin, this is x-axis and this is y-axis. Now first of all, so minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. So these are nothing but the things that we have plotted. So minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So likewise if you go, so somewhere you are going to get these values. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Likewise, so we can plot those points. Now first of all, minus 3 comma minus 27. Minus 3 comma minus 27 means, so you will be getting the point somewhere here, because we cannot take the values. So what we have done, so we have considered approximate value. Next minus 2 comma minus 8. So somewhere here you are going to get minus 1 comma minus 1. So clearly you can observe this point. Next 0 comma 0. Next 1 comma 1. Next 2 comma 8. Somewhere here you are going to get 3 comma 27. So somewhere at the top. Now we need to join these points. So when I join these points, so I will be getting the graph like this, right? so somewhat like this. So for suppose, so minus 2 gamma 8 somewhere here if I get. So if you draw it on the graph sheet, so then you are going to get the perfect graph. Okay, so here I have taken somewhat values. So if I draw the graph like this, then I am going to get some graph like this, right? So if you observe this particular graph, so this is nothing but a graph which is passing through origin. So at how many points is it cutting the x-axis, which is nothing but intersecting the x-axis? So here we can say that it is intersecting x-axis at only one point, which is nothing but 0, 0. So but you said that a cubic polynomial will have 3 zeros, right? But so if you want to represent that particular situation here, so there is no intersection of my curve with x-axis at 3 distinct points. So from this what I can say is, so this is nothing but my repeated 0. So 0, 0 means, that means 0 is nothing but my repeated 0. That means here all the 3 zeros are nothing but 0 only, right? It will never return towards x-axis, so it will move on. So when you give positive values, it will go to positive infinity, and when you give negative values, it will go near to negative infinity, right? Understood? So that's why it never return back to its x-axis. So this curve will never return. So that's why all the 3 zeros are nothing but zeros only. So all the 3 zeros are 0 only, right? So those are nothing but we call them as equal zeros. We call them as equal zeros. So for this particular cubic expression, so we are going to have all the 3 zeros as 0 only. Now let us see one more example. So from this you are going to get a clarity. So what is that? So y is equal to x cube minus x square. So if I consider this particular situation, then what I am going to have? So if I take x square as common, then I am going to get, so other than this, so if you take x only, so x cube minus x. So if this is the situation, then I can take x as common, then I will be getting x square minus 1. Now I can write it as x into x plus 1 into x minus 1, x into x square minus 1. So I can write this as like this. Again I can split it as this form. So x into x plus 1 into x minus 1. Now if you observe this carefully, so when I consider the points and if we plot, so what I am going to get? So this is nothing but my x, this is y. So when I substitute x is equal to minus 2, so what I am going to get? Minus 2 whole cube is minus 8. Minus 8 minus 2 is nothing but minus 10. Sorry. So minus 2 whole cube is minus 8. So minus of minus 2 is plus 2. So minus 8 plus 2 minus 6. So it is nothing but minus 6. Next if I take minus 1, so minus 1 whole cube is minus 1 plus 1 will give me 0. Next for 0 again you are getting 0. Again for 1 you are getting 0. For 2, so 2 cube minus 2, which is nothing but I will be getting 6. Now if I draw the graph for this particular situation, if I draw the graph for this particular situation, so this is nothing but my x-axis and this is my y-axis. Now for this particular situation, so what you are going to get? So for minus 2 what you are going to get? So for minus 2 you are getting some minus 6. So minus 6 means I am getting in third quadrant, right? Next minus 1 comma 0. So this is minus 1. So minus 1 comma 0 means on x-axis. Next 0 comma 0. So you will be getting at this particular point. Next 1 comma 0. So this is in 1. So at this particular point again you are going to get one more 0. Next 2 comma 6. So 2 comma 6 means, so somewhere here you are going to get, right? So if you join these points, so how will be my graph? So my graph looks like this, right? So if you observe, if you join these points, then you are going to get the graph like this. So if you observe this particular situation, so what I can say is, so I am having how many points of intersection? how many points of intersection I have? I have 3 points of intersection. I have 3 points of intersection, and after this, so to the left of -2, so if you observe this graph will continually going down, so it will never return to x-axis, and the same way after 2, so this graph will continuously moving towards infinity, so it will never return to x-axis because already it has 3 zeros, so we have 3 zeros, so that's why to avoid that point of intersection, so it will never return to the x-axis. Okay, so here clearly we can say that it is having 3 zeros. It is having clearly 3 zeros because all the 3 zeros are distinct here. Okay, so you can clearly understand from this graph that my y is equal to x cube minus x graph gives me 3 distinct zeros because it is intersecting my x-axis at 3 distinct points. So it is intersecting at 3 distinct points on x-axis, so that's why it will have 3 zeros. Okay, now let us see the problems related to this particular concept. Okay, so exercise 3.2. so exercise 3.2, so find the, so from the graphs y is equal to p of x, so for some polynomial p of x, so in each case find the number of zeros of p of x. So you need to find out the number of zeros. See how to find the number of zeros from the graph. So it is nothing but given by the point of intersection of my curve with the x-axis, right? So in this particular situation, is there intersection point between x-axis and my curve? So there is no intersection. So what I can say here, there are no zeros. So there are no zeros for this particular situation. Next, in this particular situation, what we can say? So if you observe this particular point, so here at this particular point we have an intersection point. So what I can say? I have 1 0 for this case. Next, here 1 2 3. So there are 3 points of intersection. So what I can say? I have 3 zeros here. Next, moving on to the next question. So here if you observe 1 2, so there are 2 points of intersection, so we can say that there are 2 zeros for this situation. Next, for this 1 2 3 4, so there are 4 zeros, so we can say that it is having 4 zeros. Next, here 1 2 3, so totally 3 zeros we have for this particular situation, right? So likewise, by looking at the graph itself, so we should say how many zeros are there for the given question, right? Next, moving on to one more question. So read the question. So find the zeros of the given polynomials. So you need to find out the zeros of the given polynomial. So how to find the zero of the given polynomial? So for this, what I need to do is, so first of all we need to make this p of x is equal to 0. So make p of x is equal to 0 and find values of x. So what we need to do? So we need to make p of x is equal to 0 and find the values of x. Now let us see the first question. So here what is p of x? P of x is nothing but 3x. So what I am going to do is, so make p of x is equal to 0. That means 3x is equal to 0. So from this clearly, what is the value of x then? So x is equal to 0. So from this, so for p of x, for this p of x, 0 is a 0 of polynomial p of x. So for this p of x, 0 is a 0 of the polynomial. Now let us see question number 2. So question number 2, what is question number 2? So x square plus 5x plus 6. So you need to find the zeros of this particular polynomial. So for that, what I am going to do, I am making it equal to 0. So x square plus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. Now I need to find the values of x. So already we have discussed here, no? So first of all we need to make it equal to 0, and after that we need to find the values of x. Now if you observe, this is a quadratic polynomial, right? So this quadratic polynomial I need to split, so I need to factorize using splitting method, right? So x square plus, what are the factors of 6? So factors of 6 are nothing but 2 3s are. So in the middle you are having 5x, so I can write it as 2x plus 3x plus 6 is equal to 0. So from the first two terms I can take x as common, so what I am left with, so x plus 2. Here in the in the next two terms I can take 3 as common, where I will be left with x plus 2. Now from this, what I am going to get, so if I take x plus 2 as common from both the terms, I will be left with x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now if you observe, third question and second question both are same. Now these two terms product should be equal to 0. So when can you say that the product of two terms is equal to 0? Either x plus 2 is equal to 0 or x plus 3 is equal to 0. So from this, x is equal to minus 2, x is equal to minus 3. So from this, what I can say, minus 2 comma minus 3 are zeros of given p of x. So for this situation, minus 2 comma minus 3 are the zeros of the given polynomial, right? So if you observe this, so this is one form of representation and this is one more form of representation. So this is quadratic polynomial representation. The same quadratic polynomial he has given as product of two linear polynomials, right? So in any situation, so we are going to get the same answer, right? Okay, next moving on to one more question. So what is question number 4? So question number 2 and 3, so both are the same answer. So p of x is equal to x power 4 minus 16, so which is equal to 0. So to find out zeros of the polynomial, what should we do? We need to make it equal to 0. So x power 4 minus 16. So how can I write this as? So x power 4 I can write it as x square whole square minus 4 square is equal to 0. Again this is in the form of a square minus b square. So a square minus b square I can write it as a plus b into a minus b, that means x square minus 4 is equal to 0. So in the next step what I can do, so I can write it as x square plus 4 into, so x square plus 4 into this x square plus 4, so this 4 I can write as 2 square, right? So I can write it as x square minus 2 square is equal to 0. Now again this is in the form of a square minus b square, so I can write as x square plus 4 into this, I can write as x plus 2 into x minus 2 is equal to 0. Now from this we cannot split this particular term, so we have product of three terms, right? So in the first term, either x square plus 4 is equal to 0 or x plus 2 is equal to 0 or x minus 2 is equal to 0. So these are the three possibilities. Now if you observe, x square is always positive, no? So a positive term, when we add a positive term, so positive plus positive will give you some positive value but not 0. So from here we don't get, so we get no real zeros. So from this particular situation there are no real zeros for this. But from here I can take x is equal to minus 2. From here I can take x is equal to 2. So totally how many zeros it should have? So since x power 4 is there, so it should have 4 zeros. But here how many real zeros I am getting? I am getting only 2 real zeros. I am getting only 2 real zeros because this can never become 0, right? So 2 real zeros. So what are those 2 real zeros? So minus 2 and plus 2 are the real zeros what we can find here. So minus 2 comma plus 2 are the real zeros of p of x. So this is nothing but the solution for for this particular fourth question, right? So likewise we need to find out the zeros of the given polynomial, right? Now let us move on to the next question. So these questions are very important, right? So these questions are very important. Okay, let us see this. Now let us see this question. So these questions have the more weightage. So this is a must question that should be given under the representation of graph. So for 4 marks in AP State Board as well as Telangana State Board, so as well as in CBSE. So under the title representation, right? Now we need to draw the graphs for this particular situation, right? Now let us see how to draw the graph for this particular thing. Now let us see one after the other. So what is the given polynomial? X square minus x minus 12. So x square minus x minus 12 is the given polynomial, right? So if you want to plot the graph for this particular thing, so what we are going to do is, so we are going to consider the values of x, then we are going to get the corresponding values of p of x. Now the points are nothing but x comma p of x. So these points we are going to substitute, right? Now how to get this?